Welcome to the Levrige Show. This is Brett Ingram. And today I want to talk to you about whether or not you are actually holding your own business back. And if you are, I want to share with you a simple way to stop that from happening and actually be the driving force for growth instead of the thing that's preventing it. So the first thing you might be thinking is, well, how could I possibly be holding my business back when I'm the CEO, I'm the entrepreneur, I'm the one who has the vision, and I'm the one who's responsible for everything. I mean, without me, there would be no business at all. And while that's very true, there's also an interesting phenomenon that takes place with most entrepreneurs in that because we are the founders, because we are the visionaries, what ends up happening is we sort of have our handprint on every single thing that happens. And while that's a good thing if it's done the right way, in a lot of cases it's not done the right way. And we run into a situation where wittingly or unwittingly, we are actually the bottleneck. We are actually the thing that's holding back the growth of our business. You know, if you think about it as traffic on a highway, if you have 5 lanes and then they all merge into one, what happens? The traffic slows way down because every car has to fit through that same 1-lane road, but there's just not enough room for them to all go through. And your business is no different. There are a number of things that need to happen every single day, every single week, every single month, not only for you to just do business and transact business and get things done, but certainly to grow. You know, to grow, you need to actually go beyond just doing the day-to-day. You need to actually get additional things done, some strategic things, and some higher level stuff in order to be able to grow. So what ends up happening is if you're the bottleneck, you'll find that it feels like you're ramming your head against a brick wall. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, it seems like you can't grow beyond a certain point. That's one of the warning signs. So if you feel like you're working hard, you're doing everything you can, and when you look at your figures, when you look at your economics and you find out that, geez, we're not growing, but I'm working as hard as I can. If your customers are happy, if your product is good, and all those things are in line, then there's a good chance that you are actually the reason for your business's stagnation and inability to grow. So let me share with you a couple of things that you can determine in order to see whether you're the bottleneck. And then I want to share with you a few ideas and a few ways that you could sort of alleviate that and take the brakes off your business and let it grow where it should be so you get the rewards that you set out for in the first place. So one of the telltale signs is if you have staff or you have outsourcers and they have a tendency to come to you for answers. I don't mean they're trying to make a strategic decision about something and they're looking for your advice on something. That's totally fine. Look, you don't want your entire operation to operate in a bubble. You want everybody to involve you in it. You want to be involved in important decisions and you want to make sure that you have input in that. I'm talking about day-to-day stuff, routine stuff that somebody should know how to do or be able to make decisions on. If your customer service team or your sales team has to keep coming to you to say, oh, can I offer these terms to this customer? Can I do this with this customer? Can we do this kind of delivery? How should I handle this? What should I do with that? If your production people need to come to you and say, what should we do to get this done faster? Or how are we going to get this thing done? And they're asking you routine questions over and over again. Look, on the one hand, it's a very nice ego stroke. They need you. They can't do business without you. But ultimately, you're crippling your business because your people are not empowered to be able to do what they need to do. They either don't have the knowledge or they don't have the responsibility or the authority to make the decisions that they need to make. So the big thing you need to do with that is allow people the freedom to do what they need to do. If that's one of the problems that you have, then one of the ways to solve that is to ask them for their recommendation on how they would solve it. Ask them what they think about it. That way you can assess their judgment and see, is this somebody that I can relinquish control to and let them run with this? Can I trust them enough to be able to do it? Because ultimately, if you want to get good employees or good partners and good associates, and you want to keep them, you're going to need to give them responsibility and you're going to need to trust them. If you don't, anybody who's good is going to leave. Nobody wants to be micromanaged. They only do that if they feel like they don't have the answers. So that is a big telltale sign. Now, another telltale sign is, are you constantly unable to get to the core things you need to do? I'm not saying you're not busy. Maybe you're really busy and you're doing a lot of stuff, but you have this core group of like 4 or 5 activities or tasks or projects you really need to get done to make your business grow, but you can never just find the time to do them. Every day stuff gets in the way. You can never get that. That is another huge telltale sign. Now that can stem from a number of different reasons. So the solution is to reprioritize and to make sure that the vital stuff gets done first. Now again, if it's based on distraction, then you may need to just reevaluate your own day. You may need to just take the phone off the hook for a couple hours, unplug the computer, go to a coffee shop or somewhere secluded outside the range of anybody else in your business so you could bang out the things you need to do. Spend 2 hours doing that and then go back to the office or whatever it is you need to do. And now you've got the key vital stuff done. So if it's just a matter of prioritization because you're doing things that aren't as important, then that's a very easy fix. Just make sure that you change your priorities, do the important stuff first. If it's outside distractions, because it comes back to people needing you all the time, then that's about making sure they're empowered to make decisions, making sure they know what their responsibilities and authority is, and make sure they're able to do it. Now, another possible issue is going to be repetitive tasks that continue to come up that for one reason or another require your involvement. Either people don't know how to do them, or maybe you're a one-man show or a one-woman show, so you're doing them all yourself. If people don't know how to do them, or you're doing them all yourself, the great news is the solution is exactly the same. The solution is to create a process for each of those tasks. It's repetitive, so it's very easy to chart the steps. You make a process of all the different steps that are involved in doing this given task. Then, if you have staff and employees that do it, you're going to give them that process. And you're going to tell them this is how you're going to do it every time. And you empower them to make edits to that process. If they have a better way of doing it, great. If they're already doing it, have them document the process themselves. You'll save even more time. And that way you can get a repetitive process that they can continue to use over and over and keep refining it and improving it. Now, if you're doing this all by yourself, it's the same thing. You want to make this into a process, but now you need to outsource. You're going to need to either hire somebody or you need to find somebody that you can pay outsourcing wages to, so you don't hire a full-time employee, and you get them to do those tasks for you over and over and over again. Because when you're able to do that, you'll find that it will free up all of that extra time. You'll have these set processes for doing things. Now, if you're not sure where to get outsourcing, or if you're worried it's too expensive, both, again, solutions are easy. First of all, it's a lot cheaper than hiring full-time employees in 99% of places in the world. So depending on where you live and where you work, outsourcing labor is usually a lot cheaper. And you can just go online and go to like Upwork.com and you can hire people directly through there for just about any skill set you need, especially if it's a technical skill set or something to be done online, virtual assistants, any of that kind of stuff. You can offload your email, you can offload your calendar, your scheduling, you can offload any kind of customer service work, you can offload tech support work, graphic design, web page layout, any of that kind of stuff. you can outsource all that very easily, and it will free up a tremendous amount of time. So it's important that you take a really good hard look at your business and identify whether or not you think things are growing, or if you've stagnated and you can't get past a certain point. Because if you are overwhelmed, if you are overworked, if you're not able to have a work-life balance and yet your business isn't growing, there's a problem there. You are the bottleneck, and you've got to take a good hard look at what you're doing and how you're spending your time, and you need to reevaluate that so you're only focused on the core tasks that you should be doing that give you and your company a competitive advantage. And then you need to take all the rest of that stuff and you need to offload it to employees, to outsourcers, to anybody else. That way you can focus on the big time, high leverage activities that are going to continue to allow your company, your business, your vision to continue to grow. So, as always, if you have any questions or comments, share them with me at levrigeshow.com or tweet them at #levrigeshow. And until next time, make it happen.